Welcome back to B&B for Phone, everyone. It is a fantastic day to dive deep into the chaotic, glamorous, and utterly dramatic world of our favorite Los Angeles families. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and get ready for a wild ride because the upcoming drama is going to blow your mind. We have so much to unpack today, so let us jump right into the madness. Can you believe it? The tension that has been brewing between the younger generation is about to explode in a way nobody saw coming. We are talking about a massive, life-altering confrontation that ends in tragedy, an arrest, and a shocking medical emergency. Our beloved patriarch, Eric Forrester, is in grave danger, and the culprit is none other than a severely intoxicated Will Spencer. That is right. The slow-paced plot of this love quadrangle is suddenly shifting into high gear with a plot twist that will leave you breathless. But here is the real kicker. It seems Will is being pushed to the absolute brink by R.J. Forrester. Let's be honest, I am entirely on Will's side here, and we need to break down exactly how this catastrophic night at the bikini bar unfolds and why R.J. is the true villain of this scenario. To understand this explosive night, we have to look back at the sheer psychological torture Will has been enduring over the past few weeks. We all know that Will and RJ recently got into a physical scuffle at Forrester Creations. The exposure of Ivy Forrester's toxic manipulation regarding Elektra's intercepted letter completely shattered Will's world. He lost his footing, he said a heartbreaking goodbye to Dylan, and he is watching his relationship with Elektra hang by a fragile thread. Will is a Spencer, and while he usually has a good head on his shoulders, the emotional toll of being manipulated and then mocked by his own rival is tearing him apart. He is drowning in betrayal, and where do soap opera characters go when they are drowning in their own misery? They head straight to the bikini bar to numb the pain. Picture this incredibly cinematic scene. The neon lights of the bikini bar are buzzing. The music is loud, but Will is completely isolated in his own dark, swirling thoughts. He is throwing back drinks, getting dangerously intoxicated, and losing his grip on reality. I truly feel so much sympathy for Will in this moment. He was the victim of Ivy's insane scheme, yet he is the one paying the ultimate price while everyone else moves on. His heart is broken over Dylan's departure, and he is utterly confused by Elektra's mixed signals. The alcohol is acting as a dangerous fuel for his simmering Spencer rage. You can almost see the ghost of Dollar Bill Spencer's legendary temper rising to the surface of Will's drunken state. He is a ticking time bomb, just waiting for a spark to set him off. And you won't believe who provides that spark. In walks R.J. Forrester, and for some inexplicable reason, he is accompanied by his grandfather, Eric Forrester. Now, why on earth is Eric at a bustling, noisy bar? Perhaps he was looking for R.J., or maybe he caught wind of Will's downward spiral and wanted to intervene as a family elder to keep the peace. But R.J.'s presence is the real problem here. I have to say, I am absolutely despising RJ's recent behavior. He is arrogant, he is smug, and he is aggressively channeling the dark, ruthless genes of his grandfather, Massimo Morone. RJ is desperately trying to establish himself as one of the ultimate successor characters to the Forrester throne, but he is going about it in the most toxic way possible. RJ sees Will in this vulnerable, pathetic state, and instead of walking away, he decides to poke the bear. RJ is the ultimate provocateur here, using Will's intoxication as an opportunity to assert his dominance over Elektra. The suspense in this scene is going to be off the charts. Eric, trying to be the voice of reason and authority, steps up to Will. He looks at this drunken young man and firmly declares that Will is not going anywhere near Elektra ever again. Can you imagine the sheer audacity of this moment? Eric is dictating Will's love life while Will is heavily intoxicated and barely able to stand. Will, completely stripped of his inhibitions and overflowing with resentment, lashes out verbally. He looks right at the legendary founder of Forrester Creations and calls him an old man. That is crazy. It is a deeply disrespectful insult, but it is born out of pure, unadulterated pain and the toxic effects of the alcohol. Will feels cornered by the entire Forrester family, and he is striking out like a wounded animal backed into a corner. The moment those words leave Will's mouth, all hell breaks loose. RJ's fragile ego and fierce family pride take over. He cannot stand to hear his beloved grandfather disrespected, especially by a Spencer. RJ lunges at Will, initiating a violent, chaotic brawl right there in the middle of the bar. Glasses are shattering, patrons are screaming, and these two young men are tearing each other apart. But here is my perspective. RJ is entirely at fault for escalating this into physical violence. He knew Will was drunk. He knew Will was not in his right mind. Instead of de-escalating the situation or simply removing Eric from the premises, RJ chooses to let his Massimo Marone aggression take the wheel. It is a disgusting display of macho arrogance, and it sets the stage for the ultimate tragedy. And what happens next is going to haunt these families for years to come. As the two boys are brawling, Eric desperately tries to intervene. He steps between the two angry young men, trying to pull them apart and stop the madness. In the chaotic flurry of fists, Will throws a wild, uncoordinated punch aimed directly at RJ's smug face. But he misses. Instead, his fist connects directly with Eric. The entire bar goes dead silent. The horror of that singular moment is unimaginable. Will, the young Spencer heir, has just struck the elderly patriarch of the Forrester family. Eric stumbles backward, the shock and physical trauma overwhelming his already fragile system. We all know Eric is a senior citizen who has battled severe, life-threatening health issues in the recent past. His heart, his stamina, his overall constitution cannot handle this kind of violent shock. Eric collapses to the floor, unresponsive. The visual of this legendary man crumbling to the ground because of a senseless bar fight is absolutely gut-wrenching. The emotional depth required for these upcoming hospital scenes is staggering, and honestly, the current cast is delivering so well we certainly don't need any replacement actors anytime soon. Will's drunken rage instantly evaporates, replaced by sheer, paralyzing terror. He looks at his hands, realizing he may have just committed an unforgivable act. This is the kind of dramatic storytelling that keeps us glued to our screens. The aftermath is pure pandemonium. Sirens wail in the distance as paramedics and police rush to the bikini bar. Eric is loaded onto a stretcher, fighting for his life, while the police turn their attention to Will. Despite RJ being the one who provoked the physical altercation, Will is the one who struck an elderly man. He is drunk, disorderly, and covered in the guilt of his actions. The police have no choice but to place Will in handcuffs. Seeing Will Spencer being led away by the authorities is a shocking image. He is going to be arrested, and his entire future is now hanging in the balance. Will a momentary lapse in judgment and a tragic accident send him to prison? Now, let us talk about the massive ripple effects this will have across Los Angeles. When Bill Spencer finds out that his son has been arrested and that RJ Forrester provoked the fight, the wrath of Dollar Bill will be unleashed like never before. Bill will hire the most ruthless lawyers, he will manipulate the press, and he will stop at nothing to destroy RJ and protect Will. The historical feud between the Spencers and the Forresters is about to be reignited with a fiery vengeance. Katie Logan Spencer is already at war with Brooke over her attempts to poach Hope for the Logan fashion house. Now, with Katie's son sitting in a jail cell because of Brooke's son, the sisterly bond might be permanently severed. Donna's warnings to Katie about igniting a family feud were incredibly prophetic, but even Donna could not have predicted this level of devastation. And you won't believe how this connects to the ongoing corporate power struggle at Forrester Creations. Brooke recently made a highly seductive offer to Ridge to replace Steffy as co-CEO. Ridge was already uncomfortable and conflicted about betraying his daughter. But now, with his father Eric fighting for his life in a hospital bed, Ridge is going to be emotionally shattered. He will be vulnerable, distracted, and desperate for comfort. Will Brooke use this tragedy to manipulate Ridge further into handing her the co-CEO position? Or will Eric's collapse unite Ridge and Steffy, causing them to push Brooke away entirely? Steffy is already contemplating firing Ivy over the intercepted letter scandal. When she learns that her grandfather was assaulted by a Spencer, she might go on a complete rampage, firing anyone remotely connected to the Spencers or the Logans. The corporate landscape of Forrester Creations is about to undergo a massive earthquake. So, what are the fan theories swirling around this explosive event? Many viewers are predicting that Elektra is going to feel an overwhelming sense of guilt. If she hadn't been so easily manipulated by Ivy, and if she hadn't played games with Will and RJ's hearts, none of this would have happened. Will she stand by Will during his legal battles, or will she fall into the arms of RJ, the very man who provoked the fight? I strongly believe Elektra will realize RJ's toxic nature. Seeing RJ's lack of remorse for provoking a drunk man might finally push Elektra away from him for good. And here is another thing to consider. Could this be the catalyst that brings Dylan back into the fold? Dylan genuinely cared for Will, and seeing him at his lowest point might prompt her to return and offer the emotional support he so desperately needs. We love a good redemption arc, and Will is going to need a massive one after this. The coming weeks are going to be a roller coaster of emotions. We are looking at hospital vigils, courtroom drama, bitter family feuds, and corporate takeovers all colliding at once. The writing team is clearly setting up a monumental May sweeps period. Between Sheila Carter stalking Taylor and Deacon, Carter and Daphne's heartbreaking fertility struggles, and now this tragic accident involving Eric, there is not a single dull moment in Los Angeles. Will Eric survive this devastating blow? Will Will Spencer end up behind bars for a tragic accident? And will RJ ever take responsibility for lighting the match that burned everything down? We want to hear from you. What do you think about RJ's arrogant behavior? Do you feel sorry for Will, or do you think he deserves to be arrested for his drunken actions? Drop your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below. Let us keep the conversation going, because the drama is only just...
What do you guys think about today's drama? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of bold and beautiful news. See you in the next video.